Hmm. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My camera is looking a little bit off, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to fix this. Sorry, I'm going to have to move this out. I didn't notice this before. There we go. All right, well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week number 107 Open Live Q&A. I'm so glad to have you guys on tonight. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about some ways and opportunities for you guys to get some free tutoring. So I definitely have some new information that I'd love to kind of share with you, and also kind of let you guys know that, there's definitely some opportunities out there. Obviously, everything that, I want to kind of share with you guys tonight is obviously not the end all be all. So always be on the lookout, looking for different ways that you can go ahead and get math throughout the year, because, I think one of the things with math and getting help is sometimes you feel like you need help. Sometimes, you feel like you're okay. And then all of a sudden you come up with a difficult chapter, right? And then you're like, holy crap, how do I get help with this? And sometimes you need step-by-step tutoring, like private tutoring, working with someone one-on-one, or sometimes it is you just need like somebody to help you with a quick question, right? And maybe it could be like a YouTube tutorial, or actually submitting a question and getting on an app and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different ways for you guys to get help, and I know many of you are very familiar with a lot of those ways. And there's a lot of like free help, and there's also a lot of paid help, and I think everything you know everything has its own advantage and disadvantage, right? Not everything that's free is great. Not everything that is, going to be paid for is going to be worth it. Like, I offer obviously a lot of free education, but I also offer paid education, right? So it's kind of like a different aspect of what you can, get with myself. And a lot of companies and, a lot of people offer those different services as well. So I think it's always, kind of important to kind of see what is it you need, and then what is everything going to be comparing on what you are, looking for. But one of the things I wanted to, let you guys know of is a couple different like kind of opportunities and that you guys can have. But before I go and get into all that information, I just wanted to say hello, Cameron. If you don't mind me asking, that always sounds dangerous. Let me go and sheet the dang. Let me see. And no, Fatima, yes, I have been online for very much a while. And Krishnan, how are you? Cameron, good to have you on. Chrissy, good to have you on as well. And Mo, good to have you on. Thank you so much. But let's go ahead and get into one of those kind of quick things that I wanted to mention you guys is, so yeah, one of the quick ways, if you're looking into getting some quick help, right? And you just want to maybe submit a question or submit a photo of the work you're doing. Obviously, that's one thing that, Mo, that's in the chat here, has helped go ahead and revamp on the Discord server. So therefore, it's much easier to flow, and an easier place to obviously navigate with other students like you. Last week, I obviously talked about the Discord server, and I think how much of an improvement it's been for students looking for one way just to kind of interact with each other, but then also to be able to answer each other's questions. I think the other thing that I mentioned to you guys is like, yeah, hey, this Sunday night, right? Every Sunday night I go live. And if you guys would like to, I don't know why I have this in there. Let me see, where is that question? Yeah, so there's on the Discord server. And obviously, guys, the link is definitely in the chat or down below in the description. You guys can definitely go and check that out. But so yeah, if you have questions on the Discord server, like go ahead and check out the Discord server. Like, please, if you have never been on Discord or been that Discord server, like I think I would highly recommend it. The other thing is like too, I have this on every single live stream. You guys can submit your questions to me each and every week. Now, if you guys noticed when I went live earlier 10 minutes ago, I actually literally just came into my office. Like, I had put my kids to bed. You're right. We were cleaning up, from dinner. So I didn't have time to review any of the math questions yet. So not always is it a guarantee that I'm going to be answering those questions. That's why I always like to tell students to, go into the Discord where there's other people, other students just like you that, can help it out. And I always recommend too, guys, when you're submitting questions, submit a question, answer a question, right? There's tutors in there that people love just focused on helping students answer questions. But I always think it's the best for, as far as building a community, as far as having a community, is to, be a part of that community by, submitting questions, and then also helping other students with their questions. Just don't be always asking, but if you're taking geometry, help somebody in algebra 1, right? I mean, there's questions from upper level mathematics to very, very basics. And don't ever feel stupid for feeling like you asked a stupid question or a very basic question, because the best thing about math is everybody that has, is in Calc 3 or linear algebra or anything like that has all gone through the exact same steps that you have, right? So you guys can go ahead and submit those questions, as I mentioned, at brianmclogan.com/Q&A. And each and every week, guys, I kind of signed up. I don't really know why, but I would just said, hey, you know what? I already did 2 years every Sunday night at 9 p.m. I've been going live. Well, let's go ahead and do a 3rd year. So that's what I did. So we're on year number 3. I think I want my goal to be 500 live streams. I think 500 live streams in a row, I think would be pretty cool. And then maybe we'll just have to maybe retire it. I don't know. We'll see how old I am. I think it'll be pretty sad. It's kind of funny. Like when some people, I always told my students when I was kind of mad that I had to step away from the classroom at this point. But one of my things I always want to do was always be a teacher. Like, I think I only had like 6 more years left, right? But I always wanted to be a teacher and just say the words like, I've been a teacher longer than you've been alive. Because I started teaching in 07. So I was really, really close. But I actually, I got to some of the students. Some of my freshmen I got to back in there. No. I can't do my math. Yeah, we were just a little bit short on some of those kids. And so, but I always thought that'd be like a funny thing. So maybe I can do like my, definitely my videos. I've been making videos for longer than people have been alive, that watch my videos, which is, kind of funny, crazy. But I think some of those live streams, like, oh, wow, I was watching his live streams when I was in, high school, and he's still doing them, like, kind of crazy, right? So anyways, that's kind of my thought. But the other thing that really prompted this live stream is, those are everything that I listed to you guys. Many of you guys are already aware of, right? You're aware of the Discord server, or at least most of you are. That's why I want to talk to you. Most of you are aware of that I'm going live every Sunday night. Those are the people that are on to these. But the other reason why I wanted to let you guys know of is another company that I have been introduced to, that if you guys want to go ahead and, come on, hold on. Stop. It's not going to oh, there we go. There. Oh, I can move that. There we go. Haha. Sweet. Okay. Connect Me Go. So this is a company that I was able to connect with, and they reached out to me. They do the same thing, a little similar. What I do is they offer free help with students. And so if you are interested, they do have some kind of stipulations. It's not just for everybody being able to get math help. And they do kind of focus on certain content areas and ages, right? Then it's a little, that might be a little different or what you're looking for. But I'll go ahead and, kind of read what they're kind of, looking for. And also if you might not be a good fit, but also you might be able to maybe help tutor. They also are looking in for tutors too, as well. So it's basically a nonprofit organization that was created during the COVID crisis to help the underprivileged and struggling students achieve academic success. So they have a mission, which is to give back and support the community as high school students for a passion for tutoring, which I think is absolutely awesome. That's why I wanted to take the call and even spend some time on the live stream letting you guys know about it. So they offer free tutoring for students in low-income families, students with essential worker parents, and students attending virtual school due to COVID. So definitely got some awesome opportunities there. And I have the link down in the description down below. So if you guys want to check it out, see if it's something that might work for you or your situation, then please go ahead and do that. After this live stream, I'll also have some additional articles I'll put into the link into the description. Again, I apologize. I didn't get to everything in there, but I know a lot of people like to just kind of read about what they're doing. But yeah, they've been featured on definitely a couple news articles that I think is really cool to kind of see what they're doing. And again, like it kind of goes back to everything I was talking about. Like everybody needs different help for different situations, right? And the other thing I mentioned too, which I haven't got to actually yet, was, the other thing is, don't forget at the end of this live stream, we're going to do an extra, I remember I'm going to give away a special private tutoring. So this, the private tutoring, all you have to do is type in math help. And again, let's do this. Hashtag math help. But again, read your directions. You're not typing this into the live chat. You're not typing into the comments of this live stream. You're going to go to last week's live stream, which was the Algebra 2 live stream. And then you guys can go and post in from there. Well, thank you, Christy, so much for the super chat. How do I want to be a teacher? How do you know you want to be a teacher and a good fit for it? Well, I think you really have to. Well, actually, I'll get to your question in a second. So yeah. Anyways, to end up everything, there's a lot of opportunities, guys, out there for you. And I think it was really cool to see Connect Me Go and kind of see what they're doing, because I think that's a great opportunity that not everybody's aware of. Not always is tutoring always have to be paid and help, right? I offer a course. You have to pay for it, right? It's not offered free. But I also offer a ton of free courses. I also offer a ton of free videos and a lot of free resources, right? So take advantage of, what you can and when you need. I don't offer paid tutoring. I don't do private tutoring, but I am giving away a free 30 minutes of my tutoring for those of you that want to win the giveaway. And again, that will do that at the end of the live stream. So you don't have to be present to win on that giveaway. However, I'm not going to track you down. So you will have to go back and check on the replay to see if you did win. But yeah, go back to last week's live stream on my Algebra 2. And then go ahead and type in hashtag math help, and we'll go ahead and put you guys into enter on that. So yes. Hey, Rona, you're on. Yes, I did get that word problem, and that was way too much for me to read for a live stream. So I do apologize, but a lot of times when I'm getting word problems, especially at the end, I just delete word problems. I don't even read through them just because it just takes too long for the word problems for me to be able to, give. Word problems are just very difficult for a live stream for me to be able to go to. Because again, one, I have to read it, digest it, write down all the information. And, obviously word problems, a lot of times where you probably want help is they take a lot of time. And so if you have some specific areas on the word problem, I might be able to help, but I would recommend probably that might be something better for Discord, where it's a little bit more time and I'm not just going live trying to read a problem, write down the problem, do everything that you kind of need for them. So a lot of times I very rarely do word problems. If you've noticed, looked at any of my previous live streams, I maybe only do a couple a month because they're very unusual that I'll be able to get to a live stream on there. And so let's go ahead and get into a couple of whatever question you guys have, and then I will get into the math for you guys as well. And hey, Ralph, how are you? Good to have you on. Is it ever too late to learn? No, I don't think it's ever too late to learn. I think that's one of the problems that a lot of times we have is I think the problem with that is, people feel like once you get to a certain level, you don't need to be learning, but no, we should always be learning. And I think the more that we encourage students to always, be lifelong learners, the more we realize that we're not really on this timeline that we have to learn something all at this time. Right. And I think it'd be much more beneficial if we, rather than trying to force students to learn at a certain time and a certain age, then we would eliminate a little bit more of that stress. And I think we'd have more people that actually enjoy what they're learning. And because that's the really thing, you should enjoy learning. Learning should not be stressful frustration, right? Learning should be something enjoyed that we all look forward to. And again, think about it. Think about the stuff that you watch on YouTube or you watch on the TV, where those learning, where you're actually learning something, but you're enjoying it. That should what learning should be about. It should not be a frustration that's something that you hate. So obviously when that comes up, we know we're doing something wrong. Marcus, you done a pre-calculus live stream. That is true, which was 2 weeks ago, which is awesome. You did Algebra 2 live stream. That is absolutely correct. I did that last week, which was awesome. What are the other ones you have planned? Calc geometry. That is a great question. I do not have a calculus or a geometry planned. I will plan on probably doing one of those. I'm not ready to go back into the calculus stream. I got to go back and do some practice. Same thing with geometry. I think I want to kind of brush up a little bit more on my instructional skills, even though I taught it last year. It was difficult because it had been 10 years since I taught geometry. And I haven't taught calculus in 2 years. So I definitely need to brush up some of my skills to be able to help students out. But I will continue doing the pre-calculus and the Algebra 2 for next month. So I'll let you guys know when those come up. But I believe pre-calculus is the first Wednesday and Algebra 2 will be the second Wednesday. And I'll have new links for anybody who wants to join on those. 1K Chow, 4K. I'm glad I do not like my teacher. I like my old teacher better. What should I do? Well, learn to like your new teacher. I think there's always something to be said about people that we're familiar with that we like. And of course, there's always going to be teachers that you learn better from and, get. But I've also realized or seen a lot of students just don't like change. And sometimes it takes a little while to get used to a new teacher's delivery, new teacher's educational style. But I also think it's very important to be able to adapt and get used to things because not everything's going to be delivered in the format that we always want. Now, obviously, if you're not learning anything and you're having a really, really bad time, like that's a different scenario. But I usually like to give a new teacher, or I'm not a teacher, I usually would recommend that students give the teacher a good amount of time before you kind of make the decisions of like, we definitely need to, this is not working. Yeah, it depends. It depends all on the student. I've had a lot of times it was split, but I'd say usually students that were seniors just had better maturity, like mental brain maturity to be better in AP calculus, but it doesn't mean it has to be that way. It all really depends on the student. All right. Can you give me hints? If I come over to a very difficult math problem, especially people don't like to help, guess internet as a friend, but what happened if I still don't understand or find it? I'm not really sure. But again, if you have questions or like specific problems, or you just want a hint or like where to start, like I think the Discord is amazing for that. So I definitely check out the Discord for that. So explain the x scale of the trig functions, meaning also the transformations. So the x scale is basically representing when you're looking at trigonometric functions, those represent the angles. So the kind of like if you think about the there's a couple cool diagrams. I think even Desmos does a cool one where you can kind of go around the unit circle and then you can see the graph as it's going on the XY axis. So basically, as the angles, as you're going around that unit circle, the X value represents those angles that you're traveling around. And then because basically the trigonometric functions, it's probably easier to, well, and then for the sine graph, you're looking at the y coordinate, and for the cosine, you're looking for the x coordinate on that unit circle, and that's how those graphs are kind of looked at. I was going to say parametric functions, but then I was like, I don't want to overly confuse things. But yeah, the x-axis is going to represent those angles, or the angle around on the unit circle. Well, thank you, Abby. Very happy to help. Yes, equations work, or you can put the equation. I mean, I'm going to go back and check the skill sheet as well for you guys. Well, we're very happy to be able to help you out. Thank you. What's the hardest math class you're in? I don't know the hardest math class, but I do know the hardest class that I had was, I remember taking abstract algebra, and I just remember struggling with that. I was taking a whole bunch of other math classes, and that class just required a lot of me. And I just remember it was a difficult class. I don't think I was prepared well for that class. So, and it was very abstract. You had to like very mentally you couldn't visualize everything. And that's what I think I was so used to as like a math student, trained to like do this, follow these steps. And the abstract algebra was just kind of like all open, it was, and it was a completely different, topic than I was used to. So that's the one I'd probably say I struggle with the most from there. Okay. Rhoda, what do you want me to do with that equation? And again, I might forget this one on there. So if you want to go ahead and post that if you want to go and post that in on the thing, that might be a little bit easier just for I can remember it. But I see it on there. I just want to make sure I can have it on there that I can go ahead and check out. Can I ask why I'm finding it hard to interpret math problems, but I'm still trying to best understand, but still don't get it. But I still love maths, especially like word problems. No, I mean it's difficult. I don't think there's a certain reason why you're having hard. It's difficult. It takes time. It takes practice. From there. So I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with you from on there. I think there's a lot of techniques to help word problems, make things a little bit easier, like, underlining and, setting up the equations. But just remember, like all a word problem is just a whole bunch of words, right? Representing a situation. So you got to find your variable. You got to find what question you're trying to solve for. You're trying to find the equations, right? It's all the same stuff. It's just written in that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure you can take that out. Yes, Ron, if you could put that in the Google Doc, that'd be greatly, because I don't know what you want me to graph that, or what are you looking for? And another super chat. Thank you so much, Matt. I'm on calculus and not without your help. I'm not. I'm never. Well, good to help. I'm so glad to help you out, and best of luck in calc. You got this. I won't be in class today. Addie, take care of yourself. No worries. Thank you so much for everything. Should you learn text? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you should, it depends on what you're trying to learn it for. What do you think of statistics course? You mean me making one? I have no clue. I definitely got to spend a lot more time on the, definitely got to spend a lot more time working on my statistics as well. So calculus, statistics, calculus, those are a lot of things that I definitely got to go ahead and catch back up on. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to try to, maybe I can get to some of the math. I didn't get to any of my math, so it's going to take me a little bit longer. Sorry about that. So let's go ahead and give the, where's the thing? Oh, okay. I'll check them from there. Yeah, let me add the links to Connect Me Go, so you guys can go ahead and check those out for those of you that are interested in getting from that tutoring. I already have my links for Discord and asking questions, so you guys should be all set with that. And again, also for the Discord, which you guys should definitely go check. So I'm going to get into the Matthew, guys. Why would that post up? There it is. So yes. So all right. So let's go and get into some questions that you guys have submitted. And again, you might say, well, where did these questions come from? Where are these people submitting these questions? How do I know? Well, guys, everybody is over. There we go. No, not that. Oh, there you go. There you go. At brianmclogan.com/Q&A. So that's where you guys can go. The link is also in the description. And then just a reminder, guys, as I get into the math question, if you would like to get a chance to earn free tutoring with myself, then go into last week's live stream. I'm not going to give you the link. You guys can go ahead and find it. It's right on my channel. And then just go ahead and type in math help. So here's the cool thing about earning free tutoring with me from this. So the first time I did this, and 2 weeks ago, I only had 4 people that typed in math help. So I was like, oh, wow, you had a 1 in a 4 chance, right? Pretty good odds. Last week, only 6 people typed in #mathhelp. And again, so 2 people already got, free tutoring that I'm able to answer whatever the question. So maybe the people don't want math help from me. I have no idea. That's perfectly fine. But if you are one of those 4 or 6 students, then go ahead and do it again. I am more than happy to submit or have you win again and again and again for the rest of the year. So this is definitely something that I want to kind of continue doing. So hopefully that is going to be can be beneficial to you guys as help. And again, you get to pick the kind of time that that is available with me, and so whatever kind of makes sense. All right. So again, we'll do that at the end of the stream. I got to go and get onto these math. Got to get onto the math stream. I'm going to go ahead and select that out. And again, guys, if you have questions or you want to go, I'm going to go and get into the into my Google Doc. So if you guys can go and sign up for that Google Doc, then I will go ahead and submit the questions. I think it all depends on what you want to go into. I mean, I don't know what data management would be or advanced functions. It really kind of, I think it just depends on what you're trying to do. Like what do you want to do after high school? Like what are you trying to go into and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's great advice. Thank you, Jamal. Absolutely. I think that's really good. I think it's hard for a lot of students to be consistent with that. And I remember I tried to do that and it was kind of difficult because you don't know like what's going on for one of those, right? Which I totally get. But I think it's also really, really helpful and beneficial for students to be able to do. All right. All right, guys. Well, what I'm going to do then is, oh, I never got back to your question, Chrissy. So I saw your super chat back then, but so how do you want to be a teacher and a good fit for it? So I think if you want to be a teacher, if you enjoy obviously teaching, helping others, I think also you got to be, have that kind of like passion about like mathematics or English or history or something you want to like spread that wealth, other students. And obviously you don't have to be it on a And just in the classroom, you can do that on YouTube videos, right? You could write a book, you could whatever. But having that, you love that kind of learning about that information, and you want to help other students see what you see with the content. I think that's one kind of important thing. And then I also just think like the relationships with other people, seeing people grow, seeing people transform. That's what I love about teaching the most, is that transformation I got to see with my students in my own eyes, the start, beginning of the year to the end of the year. And then how do you know if you're a good fit for it? I think one of the things is you definitely, you have to be patient, because every day is different. Everybody that you have, in a classroom of 20, 30, 40 kids, whatever, everybody's going through different things at different times in their life, and different circumstances at home, and different things in the hallway or the class period before. So everybody brings in that behavior or all those different things into your classroom. And, one day a student might act one way and another day a student might act another way. And you just have to be really understanding. You have to be obviously empathetic, and sometimes you're going to get tested. Well, actually, sometimes you are going to get tested quite a bit. So I think having that patience and having that understanding is very, very important as a teacher. And I think if that's something that is that's usually what students would even say to me. It's like, wow, Mr. McLogan, you're very patient. Because they might expect me to like lose it or go off on a student, but it's like, I would, I could empathize a lot with the students, and what they might be going through, or, every day I always try to treat students as every day was a new day. So it didn't really matter what happened the day or the week before. I always want to treat students the exact same, every single day. So they came in, it was like a new day, refresh, Groundhog Day. Right. And so I think if that's something that, kind of interests you, then, always give it a shot. And because we really, really need great teachers. And I think one of the best things we can give to a student, is having a great teacher in front of them. So hopefully that was beneficial for you. Ooh, got through that. It went awesome. Actually, the last student that did the tutoring hasn't taken me up on the offer yet. So they were kind of waiting to see what they had in their classes. I don't know, they might not have gone back yet. So they had a couple questions they wanted to get, but they were kind of waiting. So my 2 live streams went amazing. It was absolutely so much fun to be back in front of like students that I didn't know, and just to kind of get to, learn them and help them with their math. And then my first tutoring was awesome. Very much enjoyed that. And then the second tutoring will wait. So hopefully I have the third tutoring and it'll be awesome. Math per test. Wow, I haven't heard of that in a while. The study for your math. Yeah, I mean, just do practice problems. As many AP exam, AC exam, exact practice many. I got perfect on my SAT. All right, and yeah, Ron, I'll definitely go ahead and check to see if that. I'll definitely go and check to see if those where I'll have to go and see once I get into the Google form. See what we got. All right, so we got 9 questions. All right. I don't know. Maybe ask other teachers. I think everybody thinks, most everybody that I've heard or talked to, thinks it's a great resource. I don't think most people would like to do what I do. I know there's obviously teachers that have their own channel. Like there's a ton of teachers and a ton of great teachers that have channels and math channels and stuff like that. But I also think that, to be honest with you, if I didn't probably start my YouTube channel when I did, I don't think I probably would have done. I don't think I would have started doing what I'm doing now, like, 3 years ago. I think it's just kind of one of those things. I just did it at such a beginning that I kind of feel like I kind of grew up with it. But I kind of the same thing like on TikTok. Like I could have started my TikTok like 2 years ago, but it just kind of felt like weird off. Like, why am I doing a TikTok video and creating content there? I think I would have felt the exact same way about YouTube like 2 or 3 years ago or 5 years ago. And it just kind of one of those things is like, all right, I'm just going to do stuff. Right. And that's how I kind of started. And that's kind of like where I'm at with TikTok too. I'm like, I don't really care. I'm just creating content, creating videos, and it's out there. And if it's helpful or enjoying for anybody, then hey, it's, check it out. Cool. I was just joking. I don't remember what I got on the SAT or on the ACT. I will tell you, it did not help me out. All I remember is I didn't do very well. I didn't, but I didn't take it as seriously as like students do now. Like I remember I just took both of them once. I think I already got into I just needed to get them into my college. And then I got into the college I wanted to, which was Western Michigan. And then I was like, good. Like I didn't care to get into the best college. I didn't care to get like the top score. I didn't do any ACT or SAT prep. I just don't think it was as competitive. I mean, it was competitive, but I just wasn't as concerned about that. And I'm not saying that's right or that's wrong. But I was just saying that was just kind of my mindset when I was in high school. Like it wasn't a big deal to me. And then obviously I kind of decided to become a teacher and kind of things a little changed. But that wasn't just it wasn't something I lost sleep over really at all. It was just like, hey, I'm just going to do it, take it and go for it. And I literally just winged both of them. I don't remember what I did, but I remember I was like very average for a mine. All right, so now I'm looking at some math questions. So let me go and see if I can pull some of these out for you guys. And then if you guys want to look at them, I can go and change my screen. So let's go and see. How long does it take to lit? Okay, yeah. Ooh, old school, 2011, man. Cool. I mean, it all depends on the student and where you're at. But I mean, AP, you gotta remember, AP is like a college level course, right? So it's not like it's not like a walk in the park. I mean, for some students, obviously it is, but I mean, it's designed to be a difficult, course. It's fast paced. It's a lot of content. And it's there to really make sure you know your stuff. But I think that it's capable. It's just it just for most majority of students, it's just going to require a lot of attention and a lot of time. And so if that's something you're willing to put into it, then I'd say, yeah, go for it. Yeah, I just don't have time to read. Like you guys can see me, I'm looking at problems right now. It's not probably very exciting to like watch Mr. McLogan read problems and then dissect them. So that's why I don't cover them from there. Oh, that's subtraction. Okay. All right, so maybe I'll give you guys these problems. Come on. There we go. All right, let me share my screen with you guys so then you guys can see the problems that I'm going to be selecting. And then if you guys want to add add any of these in there, then go for it. Oh yeah, there we go. I had it. Duh. All right, we got one question in there. Actually, I'll just probably go in. Hold on, let me check. Is that it? There you go. All right, so let's go and knock out this problem here real quick, and then I'll go back to some of your questions where you guys have. All right. So in this one, we want to go ahead and simplify and then kind of subtract. I think if they're going to subtract them, then they got to have the same radicand. We got to be able to subtract them from that regard. I'm kind of falling into my cube numbers, though. That's the cube root. So cube numbers, we have 8. Oh, I guess 8 would. No. 8. 27. 64. So it's not 64. Let me see what's my... Oh, I bet it's going to be 5. 5 times 27. That's it. Okay. All right. So we have 5 times 27 is what I will work with in that case. So basically, to go and subtract them, I need them to be the same. So what I'll do is I'm going to rewrite these to simplify. So I'm going to be 8 times 5 xy minus a 2 times the cube roots here. Now I'm going to take this as a negative 27 times a 5xy. Okay. Now the rules of exponents, the rules of radicals, what they do is they allow us to break up this radicand. So what I can do is I can rewrite this as a 3 square root of 8 times the cube root of 5xy. Okay. Now a lot of times we don't write it like that just because this takes a little bit more time. But I just want you to be able to see that you can definitely do this because when you multiply radicals, you just multiply the radicands, right? So the reason why I did it this way, though, so you can show this to be a 3 times 2 times a cube root of 5xy minus cube root of negative 27. So what number multiplied by itself 3 times is negative 27? Well, that's going to be a negative 3 times a cube root of 5xy. Okay, so minus a negative is really going to be a plus 3, okay? And then this becomes a 6. Now, those are my coefficients. So since they both have the same term, that's kind of like saying, let me just rewrite this. 6 cube root of 5xy plus a 3 cube root of 5xy. Right? So it's kind of like the same thing as 6a plus 3a. Well, 6a plus 3a is 9a, right? So 6 cube root of 5xy plus 3 cube root of 5xy equals a 9 cube root of 5xy. All right. That was one question. I'm not even getting to all of them. I'm just going to go at them one at a time, see how that works. What's the student asking? Yep, see another word problem, Rona. Nope, sorry. Sorry, Shania. Do not have time to be looking over or reviewing these word problems. And then I probably have another word problem from there. Yes, so please go ahead and post. Check out the word problems, even on Discord. Sometimes it's very difficult. I mean, people are there volunteering their time for on Discord. So the more specific you can get with the questions, the better. Because even a lot of times for, word problems on Discord, a lot of those don't get answered because it takes a lot of time to go through it. So if you could be more specific on your questions, that's usually better. Well, hey, Nomad, how are you? All right. Chris, I do a video on a problem very similar to this. It was like my transformations really quickly that I'd love to get your feedback to see if it actually was helpful for you or not. But anyways, let's go through this question, number 2, next. So on this question, it's important to know what we have is what we'll call the parent graph. Okay, so the parent graph is going to be f of x equals x squared. And we need to know what that graph looks like. So that graph looks like this. Okay. Then what we want to do is, no, Rona, I know you didn't. I haven't looked at your question yet, but it was somebody else that sent in one. I was telling you like, hey, somebody else sent in the word problem, meaning like I wasn't trying to just always point you out. Like a lot of people send me word problems and I just deny the word problems because I'm like, I don't have time to do that. But you can see how this one's like rather, like straightforward. So, so we have the parent function and then we have our transformation. So we need to understand like what's going on. So our transformation form okay, so our transformations here is f of x equals a times x minus, you can do a couple different ways, c plus k. Actually, we don't have the c, a, do we? Let me just do this. Why am I doing this h minus k? I'll do the a, x minus h. Y squared plus k. All right, now we do not have that in that format, do we? Right? So if you remember in this format, h is going to be your shift left and right, k is going to be your shift up and down, but remember it's the opposite. So if I wanted to write that in this format, what I could do is I could take it like this. I could say x minus a negative 4, quantity squared minus 4. Okay, this is really important because this is the x minus h. So what that means is h in this case is equal to a negative 4 and k is equal to a negative 4. Okay. Now what that means is h is going to be your shifting, your horizontal shift. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this graph, which has a vertex at 0, 0. And now my new vertex is going to be at -4, -4. So we're going to shift 4 units to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 units down. So that's going to be my h, and then 4 units down, 2, 3, 4. And now all we're simply going to do is graph the exact same graph. So it's -4, -4. So what I like to do when I'm using transformations is find a point on the parent graph and then identify your transformations and then shift that point from there. I have no idea about Korean math. Well, I'm sorry. I'm assuming I probably have another video that's probably later or closer from 2013 that's hopefully better, but I apologize for that. And if you want to submit it on the question, then I'll be more than happy to go from there. All right. Yep. Let's get to the next question from G. How do you take the sine or cosine of any degree? As far as my understanding goes, they are opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. So how does that work? Or are they just formulas that are just named after? Okay. So I could probably spend a lot more time on this, G, but I'll try to do my best here to kind of good thing. So I want to pass it. If you have a question, then you can go to this link right here, and that will take you to your questions. So each and every Sunday night, that's where I go ahead and post the questions. Or these are where these questions. That's where I'm taking these questions from right now. All right. So this question is kind of complicated, but how do you take the sine or cosine of a degree? Okay. So as far as yes. All right. So yeah, you're right. Sine, cosine, tangent are going to be relationships based off of a triangle, right? So, let's say you have let's say you have an angle here, and I'll do a 3, 4, 5 triangle, right? So if I say, what is the sine of theta, right? That is opposite over hypotenuse, like 4 over 5, right? Done. Okay, cool. Now, what about there's special types of triangles. So for instance, what if I had a 45, 45, 90 triangle? So if you had a 45, 45, 90 triangle, so now let's say I know this angle is 45 degrees. So that means these two legs are going to be the same. And then this, using the Pythagorean theorem, or let's just do a different one. Yeah, that's fine. Let's use this one. Is going to be the square root of 2. Okay, so using Pythagorean theorem, that's going to be the square root of 2. So if that's 45 degrees, I know these two side lengths are the same. So I'll choose one. It could be anything. So again, you're right. So if I said the sine of 45 degrees, that's equal to 1 over the square root of 2, which rationalized in the denominator is also equal to the square root of 2 over 2, right? So that's typically where we are when we're looking for a triangle of any angle, or when we're looking for the sine of any angle. Yeah, you're right. We're looking for that opposite over the hypotenuse. Now, I was going into the unit circle kind of time frame for on that, and that's where I think where a lot of students get your question. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to. But the same thing can be done with what we call a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So that's 30, and that's 60 degrees. Let's say that's 1, that's 2, and then this would be square root of 3. So again, if I said, what is the sine of 30 degrees? You're right, that's a 1/2, right? So what we do when we take how to find the trigonometric function of any of these angles, what we basically have done is we take all of these triangles and we lay them on a circle with a radius of 1. And what that allows us to do is to kind of formulate all those points or all these values here as coordinate points, because you can see that they are all distances away from our origin, which is at 0, 0. And that's where we get those points. Like if I say, what's the sine of 30? What's the sine of 60? What's the sine of 45? Now, can you find the sine of any angle? Of course you can, right? And that's just going to be a different relationship That's going to be an opposite over hypotenuse of a different type of triangle. So we know the relationships with 30, 60, 90 triangles and 45, 45 triangles. That's why those are what we use on the unit circle. But we're not as familiar with like the sine of 37 degrees. That's why calculators are helpful. So I'm not sure if this completely answers your question, but that's where I wanted to kind of, or that's where I initially thought I should take your question. Rationalizing is just sometimes it's helpful a lot for math problems. It's helpful to have something rationalized. I wouldn't really say it's always in the simplified form if it's rationalized, but you know, a lot of times we like to be able to have the it's a helpful technique to be able to have and use to be able to put an answer in it or in fraction into a different form. All right. But G, if you're on, if you have a follow-up question, feel free. Well, Abby, I just went over sine, cosine, tangent, so maybe that was helpful for you. Not sure. But yeah, just remember sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is going to be opposite over adjacent. Rona, I'm not sure on your equation. Are you wanting me to graph this, or what are you looking for me, or to find the information, or to label the information? Like, what are we looking for on this one? So if you want to provide any other feedback, because I just have an equation, so I don't know if you want me to graph it, identify the characteristics of it, but if you can, come on. There you go. If you want to tell me anything else what else to do on this, Rona, I know hopefully you're still in the chat. You can let me know on that, and happy to answer that. Question 67. I'm having trouble solving. Okay. So let's get into how would your graph look like based on the equation? Okay. All right, cool. We got another radian. So, actually, you know what? Let me take a picture of the student's work. No. Stop. Okay. I don't know why my computer's having a hard time right now. Come on. All right, so let's go into this question real quick. So graphing this, 150 degrees. Okay, so a couple different ways I would like to do this. So going into my idea of like the parent graph, I think you should definitely know what the parent graph is. So let's call it, here's the parent graph, right? So y equals the cosine of x. What does that graph look like? Well, this is just one initial period of the graph. Okay, the graph starts here and goes there. Now in radians, this would be 360 degrees. I'm sorry, in degrees, that's 360 degrees. That's 0. This is going to be 180 degrees, right? That's going to be 90 degrees. And that's going to be 270 degrees. Okay. In addition to this, we have a change in the amplitude. So the amplitude is how high the graph goes up and down. So the amplitude is going to be the absolute value of 2, or what is absolute value of a from there. So that's going to be a 2. Our period is going to be, actually, let me just rewrite these just in case everybody has them. So my amplitude is absolute value of a, which in this case is absolute value of 2, which is just 2. The period is going to be 2 pi divided by b. So this is a, b, c, and d. So 2 pi divided by b, which in this case is going to be a 2. So 2 pi divided by 2, which is going to be a pi. And then we have a phase shift, which is going to be 150 degrees. Now, again, this is plus, right? So it's just kind of like what I did for you, Christy. It's going to be 150 degrees to the left. And then we have a vertical shift or vertical translation. And that's going to be 5. I don't know why I did equals. And that's going to be 5 units down. Okay, so whenever I'm graphing, I didn't really spend a lot of time graphing anymore. I used to do a lot with it, but then I kind of stopped with it just because it kind of lost its importance in my opinion. But students need to know the general idea on how to graph and the characteristics. But as far as like spending a lot of time graphing like certain points, it bogged down the classroom a lot. So kind of go through to kind of go over a little bit of a review. What I would recommend doing here is finding what we call the X scale. And then in addition to the X scale, I'd do the start and the stop. So how do you find the X scale? So I haven't taught this in a couple of years. So the X scale is basically just going to be the period divided by 4. So our period is what? Pi, right? So it's going to be pi, or sorry, 180 degrees, right? Because it's 360. So pi divided by 2. Sorry, what am I doing? It's pi divided by 4. Okay. Now, technically, remember, pi in this case is 180. So divide by 4 is going to be what? 60 degrees. Not divide by 4. That'd be 45 degrees. Apologies for that. So we're going to use these as 45 degrees. All right. The next one I want you to do is going to be the start. So how do you find the start? So if you look at this, this starts at 0, right? So whatever is under, now again, I should probably do this. Here, let me do, this is confusing because I'm talking about radians and we're talking about things in degrees. So period is going to be 360 degrees divided by B. So, and that's going to be 360 divided by 2. So that's equal to what? 180. So that's going to be 180 degrees divided by 4, 45 degrees. Okay. So the start, you're going to say whatever's under my, whatever is inside of my function, I'm going to set that equal to 0. All right. So again, if we think about this, divide by 2, then subtract 150, you're going to have x equals a negative 150 degrees. And then we're going to do our end. So the end, if you can see, this one starts at 360. So to do that, all you're simply going to do is say, all right, we're going to take the same equation. Oops, am I over? Oh, okay. So we're going to take the exact same equation. Let me move this over real quick. Let me do it down here. So the end, I'm going to take the exact same equation, 2x, oops, sorry, crap. Come on. X plus 150. And I'm going to set it now equal, though, to 360 degrees. All right, and when I do that, I get x equals 30 degrees. So this is really important. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my scale. All right, so where am I starting at? I'm starting at a negative 150. Right, now again, remember what was my x scale? It was 45 degrees. So my next term is going to be at 45 degrees, right, which is going to be negative 105. And then I'm going to do my next one, which is going to be a negative, right, 60. And then I'll do my next one. Run out of space. See if I can go to there. Okay, so what do we have? We start at negative 150, right? And then we went to the next one, which is going to be at negative 105. Then we're at a negative 60. And then we're at a negative, 45, wait, am I 60? Yes, so negative 15. And then we're at a positive 30 degrees. Okay, so again, the x-axis is like somewhere over here, right? So, but again, let's just put the x-axis like somewhere right there. Now, again, the amplitude is how high and low we're going. So the scale is not 1 and now negative 1 here. Now we're going to go up to 2 and down to negative 2. Actually, go there. Dang it. I knew I was going to mess up. Please tell me you can still see that. Okay, yes. Cool. So now we're starting here, right? This was my start. So it starts at 2, then goes down to here. So we're going to do the exact same pattern. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry. That goes down there to there, to there, to there. All right, so then the graph is going to look something like this. There you go. So that's the initial period. Then you can repeat that period from the left and from the right. But you can see it was kind of difficult. Like it not only got messy, but it's a lot sometimes. But hopefully that was helpful for your run. And if not, let me know if you have any questions. Are we expected to be accurate when it comes to drawing? Yeah, so that's why I don't like graphing, because you can see I was not very accurate with mine. But again, like every X scale, the cool thing X scale is you have the max, the X-intercept, the minimum, the X-intercept, the max. So that's why, a lot of times teachers, I used to require 2 periods, right? 2 periods, at a certain point. But if you follow those steps, you can go through everything. Ooh. You are not pretentious at all, but I think the best thing that I would recommend doing is, like, again, on my notes, one thing you guys got to remember from all those older videos, they were just me teaching class. A lot of times the examples or a mistake might have been found like after the video, and I just recorded, uploaded, and go from there. So please do not, if you feel a mistake or if you where any of our correction, just type it into the chat. And then a lot of times whenever I see those, I just make sure I pin them. So therefore other students are not confused. But no, you're not being pretentious at all. I greatly appreciate you going back through the content and finding any kind of mistakes. A lot of times it'll be verbal mistake. I'll just say it, but then sometimes I might be doing it in a math problem. So highly recommend, just keep on going there. I don't take any offense to it at all. So I greatly appreciate it. All right, let's get into the next question. Let's see for this one. In the exercises, find the value of theta and radians 0 to 5 without using a calculator. Okay, so here I'm going to relate to the unit circle. So we're looking from 0 to 2 pi. So we're looking in the first quadrant here. Okay. So when is sine of half equal to 1/2? So that's going to be right there, because again, we're looking for what angle is when the y coordinate is equal to 1/2. So no, that one doing, that's wrong. Sine is equal to 1/2. It's right here, because square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2. Now you might say, well, how did you know that was point? Well, again, if you followed the first video, somebody was asking me about like special right triangles, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, guess what? This is when this angle is 30 degrees. Right? That's 1. Then this is going to be a square root of 3 over 2, and that's a 1/2. So all we did was took a special right triangle and put it on the unit circle where the hypotenuse is equal to 1. So find the value, so the angle, so theta, and this in this restriction is going to be a 30 degrees. Or we could say theta is equal to a pi over 6. So you can do it in both radians or degrees. Whenever you're doing cosecant, what I'd recommend doing is just rewrite this as a reciprocal. So if cosecant of theta is equal to 2, that's the same thing as sine of theta equals 1/2. Right? Remember, it's just reciprocals. So it's going to be actually the exact same answers. So remember, cosecant of theta is 2, then that's really 2 over 1. So then you can just reciprocate it to find sine. All right, remember guys, we have a giveaway that I'm giving away tutoring for you guys. If anybody has any question or tutoring, just go to my last live stream from last week, type in hashtag math help, and I will pick one of you guys to win a free tutoring. All right, so we got that one. I don't know what 8th grade simplifying expressions are, so I'm gonna have to skip that question. I apologize, but again, if you guys have something like either specific, like with words or with an equation, it's helpful for me. So here's one. Looks like you're adding, so I can do this. All right, and we'll get to one last question, and then we'll do the giveaway for the tutoring. Come on, why do you do this to me? All right, let's check this last question. Alyssa, oh, why would you do that to me, Alyssa? since you asked and you submitted, I got you. Or at least I'll try to do my best. Okay. So annoying. All right. So we'll do these 2 math questions and then we'll do our giveaway from on there and say any other help you guys have. Well, you're very welcome, Elijah. Happy to be able to help you out. All right. So on this one, so looks like we're just adding 2 problems. So we have a 3x squared minus 5 plus 9x, and then plus a negative 3x cubed, again, plus there, 9 plus a 6 minus a 5x. Okay, so what we basically, a couple of different ways we can do this. We can do the vertical method, which I'll do. And if we don't have a value, then we'll use a place value, okay? So what we can do is just rewrite this as a 3x squared plus a 9x minus 5. Plus, now here I have a negative 3x cubed. Here I don't have one, so I can do a 0x cubed, okay? I don't have anything squared, so I'm going to do a 0x squared, and then have a minus a 5x, and then plus 6. So the cool thing about this vertical method is you can just add things that are all like terms in a vertical way. You don't have to do it this way. You could just, draw lines to them really if you wanted to, like 9x minus 5x. But a lot of times, sometimes when students do it that way, they will get confused or the signs will be messed up. Oh, sorry. I just says you have to, I think you need to go ahead and react to that role in the classes on Discord. So now if I just go and add these, so 0x cubed plus a negative 3x cubed is a negative, 3x cubed. 3x squared plus 0x squared is going to be a positive 3x squared. 9x plus a negative 5x is going to be a plus a 4x, and negative 5 plus 6 is going to be a plus 1. All right, remember guys, this is equal to a 2 plus I times a 2 plus I times a 2 plus I. I don't know why I have that extra one there. It's kind of weird. Okay, now whenever you're multiplying a binomial times a binomial, you should recognize that's going to be a binomial squared. So you should be familiar, or hopefully get familiar with this process. So 2 times 2 is going to be 4. Now when I do my middle terms, it's going to be the exact same thing, right? 2 times I times 2 times I, so it's going to be a plus. So you're going to add them together, a 4i. And then here I have I times I, which is going to be an I squared. Now remember, 2 plus I. Remember guys, I squared is equal to negative 1. So negative 1 plus 4 is going to be a 3. So I can do a 3 plus 4i. You want to write it as your a plus bi, and then 2 plus I. Now let's just go ahead and multiply everything back over again. So 3 times 2 is a 6. 3 times I is going to be a 3i. 2 times 4i is going to be a plus an 8i. And then 4i times I is going to be a 4i squared. Okay, so now I can combine these. So then I get a 6 plus 11i plus, now I squared, right, is negative 1. Negative 1 times 4 is a minus 1. So now I can combine these to be a 5 plus 11i. Voila, there you go. I don't know. It all depends on, I think, on the teacher and the curriculum. So, all right, guys, you ready for a little giveaway? Let's give away. So let's go ahead and give away some free tutoring. So again, guys, if you are interested in winning some free tutoring with myself, then you can just go over to my last live stream, which was last Sunday night, and then just go ahead and type in my hashtag math help into that description, and I am going to select a student from there right now. Now, I actually forgot to go ahead and grab the link because I'm an idiot from there. And so now I actually have to go and do that real quick while you guys are waiting for me to do that. So let me go ahead and grab a link here real quick. And then me, please. Oh, so let's go live. What was my live? I think it was my live stream last week was Algebra 2. Yes, so new Algebra 2 live stream. Winning for you guys. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's grab that link. Nope. Please make sure you go to last week's live stream, go to the comments, and type in math help there. Please type in math help in last week's live stream. Don't do it in live chat because live chat is not going to help you out at all because the software that I'm using only goes to the link that I'm using. So the link I'm using is from last week's live strat. So you do not want to be using the live chat here. You wrote 4i squared equals -1. Oh, sorry about that. Thank you. Let's fix that then. Times a 4. Okay, so therefore that becomes a 2. All right. I think I can do... All right. Well, whatever, that's not working, so I'm just going to exit out from there, and we'll do it over here. Cool. All right, guys, you ready? Let's go ahead and do it. So, not this one. Why are you not showing my thing? Oh, did I type in? Oh, idiot. Oh, there we go. Why would I not do that? Cool. All right. So, last week's live stream, #mathhelp. Here's the link. But you can just go to my channel and go and pop it to the link, open it up, and go and type in there. So, let's go and see how many of you guys did this. We're not going to do that. We're going to do keyword. You had to type in #mathhelp. Okay. So again, this is last week's live stream. Last week's live stream, #mathhelp, and then we'll see free tutoring with myself. Let's go and see how many selections we have. Ooh, 8 comments. So we went from 4 to 6 to 8. Interesting. All right, you guys ready? Well, I commented math help in your last time. Awesome. Well, this is and Brad FNX, you are the winner. Congratulations. Go ahead and hit me up either on Discord or on Instagram at Brad McLogan, and I am more than happy to get connected with you to help you with the free tutoring. And again, guys, if you did not win, I apologize for that, but don't worry. Each and every Sunday night, I will be doing this exact same giveaway throughout the rest of the year. At least that's my plan. So as long as I'm doing that, I'm going to plan on doing that. So please make sure you guys just tune in next week and type in the hashtag. Again, you don't have to be on every single live stream. That's my job. But you'll definitely want to make sure that you can go ahead and type that in and then check back in to see if you won. So hopefully you guys have a great week and a great night. I will see you guys next week. Cheers.